Thanks for coming to j&ntravels podcast with your hosts, John and Nancy.
Hi.
We will discuss everything travel, including cruising, Disney World, other general travel, snowbirding tips, trivia, and other fun things.
Hello, I'm Nancy, and welcome to Nancy's Trivia Time. Today I have 3 travel trivia questions for you, and we'll give the answers at the end of the show. Okay, number 1. What country do the tallest people in the world come from? What country do the tallest people in the world come from? Number 2. What was the name of Carnival's first cruise ship? What was the name of Carnival's first cruise ship? And number 3, what attractions was flight tested by U.S. astronauts before it was opened to the public? What attraction was flight tested by U.S. astronauts before it was opened to the public?
So today, Nance, we'd like to discuss probably one of our favorite cruise ships of all time, right? Which is Oasis of the Sea.
Yeah, we only rode on that, sailed on that ship once, but boy, it left a great impression on me.
It's a great ship.
It is.
It's a Royal Caribbean ship.
Royal Caribbean, yeah, beautiful.
It's probably it's definitely the biggest ship we ever sailed on.
Yeah.
But it's one of the biggest ships in the world.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's got some sister ships that are a little bit bigger, but it was the biggest ship we ever went on.
The largest ship we ever went on, and it was so beautiful. I mean, you have to keep telling yourself this is a ship, because the mall looked like you were regular mall, that you were walking through a regular mall.
Well, one of the biggest comments I get when people watch our videos, we had a room that overlooked Central Park.
That was
And
so cool.
the most popular comment I keep getting from people, which is so true, is I wouldn't know you were on a ship.
I
It
know.
looks like you're looking from the balcony in your hotel room.
I know.
Down in Central Park.
You never once did I feel any, I don't know what do you call it, any motion.
Anxiety and motion, yeah.
It was smooth sailing, very, very
You think
smooth.
a ship that big and that high might give you a little bit more
Yeah,
motion, but
yeah.
so
No, there was no rocking or anything. No, none. It was very, very smooth.
So we actually took this ship. We sailed on her twice. We did a back-to-back on her, and which I think is a great way to do it. The ports weren't the greatest in the world.
They weren't.
Which is
but
fine with me because one of the ports was their private island, which we love.
We got to do the private island twice, which I loved. That was awesome. The food, it was great. The atmosphere was fantastic. Everything about that island. There was no negatives.
Right. And even though the other two ports, I think one was the Bahamas and one was Florida, we just got out and walked around.
Yeah, we
the
just
ship
walked
contained
around.
everything we needed.
Yeah, the Bahamas was nice, and the fact that we walked downtown and we looked at the Margaritaville Hotel, I believe. That was really nice.
Yep.
And we walked to, I think it was Junco Beach.
We didn't actually swim there. We were going there, but we walked down and checked it out.
You had to pay to swim, I believe, there. I'm not sure, but we didn't swim there.
Okay, so a little about the ship itself, all right, for people who aren't familiar with the Oasis of the Seas Royal Caribbean ship. It did its maiden voyage in December 9th, 2009. And I think it was refurbished again in 2019. Now, when we went on the ship, it was actually in a refurbishment, $1 million refurbishment.
Yeah, it was beautiful.
When we got on it. So there was stuff put on that ship, like the giant abyss slide.
Yeah.
That was not on that ship before.
Yeah, you got to do that.
That was added fun for us.
And they had and the skating rink, was that new as well?
No, that was on originally.
That was on originally,
Yep.
okay.
The ship is one of the biggest in the world, and it weighs almost 227,000 tons.
Wow.
Okay, so it's a big ship. It can hold 6,771 guests and 2,109 crew. Okay, so that's what's on there now.
Yeah, and when we went, it was there wasn't that many guests on it. I think
But it wasn't a full crew.
No.
We took it out of New York, like we do a lot of our cruises, and we find a lot of great deals out of New York because they go in the colder weather. And
Yeah.
People don't like to sail out of New York.
Yeah, this was in October, right?
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start, Nance, with the complimentary restaurants
They were
on
good.
the Oasis. We
Yeah.
do not do specialty restaurants.
No,
we
we
never
don't.
have. So we're not even going to address specialty
No.
restaurants. But the complimentary restaurants we can talk about.
Yeah.
So the first one, which is on every ship you're ever going to sail, they usually have a main dining room and a buffet.
Yeah.
The food on the main dining room, I thought was great. What did you think about it?
I love the food on the main dining room. I thought they had a little bit better than Norwegian, so and a little different selections than Norwegian. So I was very pleased with the food.
See, I thought they were about the same as Norwegian, but a notch above Carnival. That's what I thought. But yeah, they were good. It was good food though.
It was good.
So we would eat in the main dining room, and then several times for lunch or dinner, we would eat in the buffet.
Yeah.
Now the buffet had. This is a little hint that Nancy and I have learned over the years of cruising. We like to go to the early dinner for two reasons. One is the sit-down dinner in the main dining room. One reason is because you have a 5 o'clock dinner. You can leave there and go right to the show. So you can see the early show. You don't have to stay up.
I don't want to miss any of the shows. I look forward to the shows.
Well, if you wait till the later one, then you will fall asleep half the time.
Yeah, it's tiring. Yeah.
So that's one reason. That's how this all started. But the second reason we found after taking cruise after cruise is that we like the buffets and like to check out the buffets.
Yeah.
Even if we're not hungry, we like to check them out. So we find if we go to an early seating, then go up to the buffet just before it closes, like a half hour before it closes, we can check it out.
Yeah.
And every single time we go, there's stuff on the buffet that is unannounced.
Right.
And we're talking things like schooners of shrimp.
That was good.
Baby back ribs.
Baby back ribs. Yeah, that was
so
good.
We found that with all cruise lines.
Yeah.
So that way we'll just
it pays
grab,
to check out the buffet.
Right. So we grab a few things that we really like that we didn't know was on there, and we're not real hungry.
Right.
It's just kind of a, I guess, a late or an early evening snack, maybe, right?
Early evening snack. I mean, like they say, you never go hungry on a cruise ship.
Right.
There's so much food.
If you're not familiar with cruises, almost every cruise line has a standard menu at the bottom. In other words, you get a menu with that daily special. It lists several items for the daily. But they also have, for people that are finicky eaters, and I've had to use this sometimes, for people who are finicky eaters, they have on the bottom, it's usually a chicken, a steak, and a fish. So you could, and it's standard.
Yeah.
They have that every day.
Yeah.
So my fallback, of course, if I didn't like anything on the menu, out of the 6 to 8 items that are on the menu, I usually go for the steak.
I think it was the mahi that I really liked on the Oasis, and they served it with polenta, which was amazing. I think it was that cruise line, but I could be another one. But I remember I really, really liked it.
Yeah, well, you
delicious.
and son loved the mahi,
Yeah.
but that was a different cruise line.
That
But
might have been
what you're talking about is Royal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the one you had.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what my favorite dishes are, and then we always have to go there on the lobster night.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So that's always a treat.
Yep.
But usually, if you're getting something that's a small portion, like whenever you get a shrimp dish or something, there's usually very few shrimp.
Yeah.
So we get that, and we'll get a secondary item.
Yeah.
A lot of times, we'll get a steak or something just to fill us up.
I really like seafood, so I try to always order seafood. I always get the shrimp cocktail because I love that. I get the fried shrimp sometimes. That's really good. And of course, I have to get swordfish or what's the other thing? The mahi.
Yeah, Nancy's huge with shrimp, though. That's
Yeah, salmon.
running
That's the
gag
other
all the
thing.
time.
Salmon, I really.
That's right.
Yeah, not swordfish, salmon. I'm sorry.
So that's a main dining room and buffet. Highly recommended.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a foodie and you just want to taste different foods, and you don't want to pay for the specialty restaurants, I suggest you go early and then go into the buffet later, and then that way you taste all the food that they have to offer.
It's nice to experience different foods because sometimes when you go to restaurants around here, or you say, well, I don't want to pay $25 or $30 for something I've never had before, but on a cruise ship, you can try it.
Right. Yeah, and that's especially important with both the main dining room and the buffet.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
you could try it.
Just always get something you don't. We always try and taste something new.
Like, for example, a lot of people say, oh, I would never order escargot, but you can try it and see if you like it, you know? And if you don't like it, well, what's the worst thing, you know?
And we've done that. I didn't like it, and you did like it.
Oh, I did like it, but I knew I would like it. I had it many times growing up, so.
So the other thing with the main dining room and the buffet thing, it's not necessarily just something that you find that's not at the main dining room, but I remember many times I would get a soup or an appetizer that was really good. And I just felt like more of it later
Yeah,
on. And
yeah.
instead of going back to the main dining room, sitting getting a bowl of soup or something,
Yeah.
you can find it usually up in the buffet.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Their
that,
soup was good. Matter of fact, I tried, and I never ever had this. It was a cold soup, and I never had cold soups before. But they had a cold blueberry soup, which was good. But then they had a cold, I think it was strawberry rhubarb soup. It was amazing. That was my favorite, cold rhubarb soup. And I made it here for myself because I grow rhubarb, and it was really good.
yeah. All right, so that's the complimentary main dining room buffet. Now we move on to the Boardwalk Doghouse. Okay, there's a section of the ship called the Boardwalk. We'll go into that a little bit later. They have a hot dog stand.
Yeah.
I do not like hot dogs.
I love
but
hot dogs.
Nancy finally tried one. I think she only had one the
I
whole
just
time.
only had one, yeah.
Just to give us be able to review it.
Yeah, it was
and what do
really
you think
good.
of the hot dogs?
It was
then?
great. It was really good. Yeah.
And it's basically hot dogs with toppings, right? And
Yep.
do
All
they
kinds
have
of toppings. Yep.
kielbasa with something too, or a sausage too? There or was it just hot
I
dogs?
don't remember. I only ordered a hot dog, so I don't remember if they did have that.
So that's a complimentary one
Yeah,
if you're
that was
into
good.
hot dogs.
Yeah, it was a nice lunch. You know, I enjoyed it very much, and then they had the merry-go-round right near there, and then
Right.
I rode on the merry-go-round.
The next complimentary
That was
place
great.
that we went into was the Cafe Promenade. Now this is
Yeah, that was
Royal
good.
Caribbean's version of a 24-hour place.
Yes.
Okay. I love cruise ships that have a 24-hour eatery.
Yes.
Because even though you're not going to be eating all night, there is that time at the end of the night where you just want a
Yeah,
snack before you
yeah.
hit bed, before you go to bed, after the shows and stuff like that. This one is in the main promenade. It's across from their pizza place. And they had a variety. Now, we went down there, I think, for a coffee or a tea.
Yeah, we did.
A pastry. They had
Pastry,
pastries, fruit cups. You get.
Yeah, I like the fruit cups. They were good.
And I didn't have any. Did you have any? They had wraps. If you're looking for a more
No, and
solid
I'm sure
food.
I would have liked them all, but I have to be careful what I eat at certain hours of the night, so I avoided eating the wraps. The fruit cups would settle well with me, so I went with those, but the wraps did look very good.
So they had a decent variety of stuff, and the pastries were pretty good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. Don't expect like a full, huge menu. It's something for you to have a little
Yeah.
snack late at night.
Yeah.
So that was really good. That was a 24-hour place. The next place was El Loco Fresh.
Ooh.
Now that was their version of a Mexican
Yeah.
restaurant. Nancy's a lot into Mexican food and a lot more than I am.
Yeah.
Did you try different things there?
Well,
Or?
you know, given my stomach issues, I can't always try the things that I want to. So I was leery, especially with Mexican food. I think I had a burrito, but I didn't put all the toppings on it that I would have liked to. So I was limited.
And I ate there a couple times and absolutely loved it, but I think you'd look at my meal as more of a version of kind of a steak and cheese. They had delicious steak. They're not tips, but the little pieces of steak, or you could get chicken. I'm not sure if there was seafood option.
I don't remember.
But I would fill it and put the cheese on it.
Yeah.
And the melted cheese.
Yeah.
And
It was like a steak
a
and
few
cheese.
toppings, and basically it was a steak and cheese Mexican
Yeah.
style,
So
but it was
that's
very good
But it was good, yeah.
for a break. Moving on to kind of a hidden gem. If you haven't read about this, you're not even going to know this exists, because we've talked to people that thought this was a pay restaurant and went, I think they were on a long cruise and they never ate there once. It was a pot cafe.
Yes, that roast beef sandwich was really good.
This is situated in the area that's called Central Park.
Yeah.
It's
Central
in the middle.
Park.
There's a few restaurants that are specialty restaurants,
Mm-hmm.
upscale restaurants there, but there's one little place called Pot Cafe,
Pot Cafe.
which is complimentary. And they
It
have
has-
quite a diverse little menu for
Yeah, they had a
someone to
lot
try
of
different.
nice salads there.
Well, you can go in for breakfast 1st
Mm-hmm.
and they had all sorts of different stuff for breakfast, and they had a couple soups on.
Yep.
Or you can go for lunch. I think after lunch they were closed. They were not open
Yeah.
for dinner.
It was always crowded there, remember?
It was always crowded. You could go in, you could get coffee, you get
Yep.
a snack, you get a pastry, you get different kind of foods. But usually the big item that people talk about that has a reputation is the roast beef sandwich.
Yeah.
Now, we almost stopped going there after our first one. We went in there and Nancy had ordered a roast beef sandwich. We weren't really hungry.
Yeah.
I think it was a day we might have even got on the ship. ordered one with gluten-free bread.
Yeah, I was trying to cut back on my gluten because, because of my stomach issues, and I felt that that would be safer for me to eat a gluten-free roll.
So since we were only having a taste, really, because we wanted to see what the big praise was on the roast beef, we got one sandwich cut in half. Both didn't like. Neither one of us liked it.
Yeah, the bread was tasted
bland.
Yeah,
and it fell apart.
Yeah,
Right.
it fell apart.
So at that point, we said, "Oh, this is overrated. We weren't going to go back." But we decided to give it another shot, and then we got on a normal roll, not gluten free.
No.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it was delicious.
And got it several times
Yeah,
for the
we
remainder
did.
of the back-to-back
Yeah.
cruise. So I would recommend you at least give it a try on regular bread.
Yeah.
And trying to think if there was any sauces they put on it.
Yeah,
Could you have
au jus.
stuff
It was
put on
au jus. Yeah, they had the au jus.
Okay.
Which was, they had their own special juice that was on it, yeah.
But there was also a variety of other, I'm not sure it was just sandwiches or maybe wraps and stuff. There was,
Yeah.
You could go there and get a decent lunch.
Yeah.
And the novelty lunch, because there was some unique food
Yeah,
there.
they had soups, salads, wraps, yeah.
And didn't they have several kinds of salads, like different kinds
Yeah,
too?
they did,
That you
yeah.
wouldn't expect to see
Yeah.
other places. So we do recommend that. Now, like I said, it's only open till, I want to say, like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so you have to grab it for lunch.
I really
But-
thought the roast beef itself was really tasty with that juice that they put on. I thought it was really delicious.
I agree.
And the sandwich isn't very big. It's small. It's a
Right,
small
but I mean, you could
sandwich.
get two
yeah,
or three
you
if
can
you
get
want.
two or three to fill yourself up. So if you have a big appetite, you should order more than one because one wouldn't fill you.
I actually prefer when they give small servings on a cruise ship because I always feel like I'm wasting food. I would
Yeah.
rather order more
Yeah.
than not finish what they gave me.
Well, it's nice to sample all things, you
Right,
know. I mean,
that
if
too.
you only have one and, you're hungry later on, you can try something else, you
Right.
know.
The other hidden gem, and this really did turn out to be a hidden gem too. Like we said, Park Cafe was one. The other one was called the Solarium Bistro.
Oh, yes.
Totally found this by mistake.
Yes.
There is a solarium on the cruise ship,
Yeah, that
which
was
is
good.
adult only.
Yeah.
And there was a restaurant there, which we thought was an upscale
We
restaurant.
did. We thought you had to pay. They had different foods there. It was really nice.
We would go in. I think they had a serving for breakfast, one
Yeah.
for lunch, one for dinner, and you can go in, and there's like you said, different kinds of food
Yeah.
that you don't see anywhere else on the ship.
But they had limited hours.
Yeah, even they post them as breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't know what their dinner is. It's
Yeah.
probably not like a late dinner.
Yeah.
But you do have to time it right
You
because
do.
we went
We
up there a
timed it
couple
right.
times, and for some reason it wasn't open.
Yeah. Well, we went up to the infinity pool, so it's right across from the infinity pool.
Well, it's in the solarium.
Solarium.
The adult
That's right.
solarium
Yeah,
area.
that's right. Yeah.
And it's not advertised.
No.
Which was weird. We didn't see it advertised anywhere. That is something you should check out. Check out early
Yeah.
in your cruise because if you like it, you might want to go back there.
Yeah.
And that's a great way to spend the afternoon. If you're trying to just have a little solitude, you go to the solarium, which is adult only.
Yeah, it's nice.
Huge hot tubs in there.
Yeah,
and a
they're
little swim
big.
pool. And they have this bistro.
Yeah.
So you don't even have to leave that area
No,
for the
you
day.
don't. It was really nice.
The last complimentary place we're going to mention is Sorrento's Pizza.
Oh, Sorrento's, yummy. I really like their pizza.
Of the pizza places on a cruise ship, we
That was the
ranked
best.
this number 2.
Yeah.
No, we always
who
rank
was-
the one on
Oh,
Carnival better.
Capitano. Yeah, that's right. I
Um,
agree.
But Sorrento's was very good.
Yeah, it was very good.
We ate there quite a few times.
We did.
And I think right now this is presently open like 4 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Mm-hmm. Not really sure. Because the hours on most of the cruise ship for these pizzerias has fluctuated.
And I think our daughter and our son-in-law sailed Oasis last August, and our daughter really liked this too because they made her the white pizza. They were able,
Okay.
so that was really good because she enjoyed that.
That's one good thing about cruise ships.
Yeah.
They can modify a
Yeah.
lot of stuff to diets and stuff like
yeah,
that.
so she thought that was really cool.
Okay, so that's our complimentary restaurants. Now we're moving on to amenities on the ship. What do you find on Oasis Sea, one of the biggest ships in the world?
Yeah.
Well, the first thing is the pools.
Yeah.
Like any other cruise ship, I mean, they have their pools. The pools are never big enough to hold everyone
No,
on the ship.
they're not.
I have a different attitude towards the pools. I like the pools on cruise ships. A lot of people don't because I don't look at the pools that they're building these pools to be lap pools.
No.
You're basically using it to
cool
climb
off.
in and cool off. So
Yeah.
if me and you can stand in there with a
That's
drink,
fine.
without a drink, or
Yeah.
just get in there, cool off and talk, or
Yeah.
talk with other people, that's
Yeah,
fine with us.
fine.
That's all we're
That's
looking
all
for.
we're looking for, yep.
So the pools were fine.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing to write home about. They were fine. Whirlpools were the exception. They
They
had
were nice.
huge whirlpools, right?
Huge, yeah.
In fact, you'd swear a couple of their whirlpools were mini
Yeah.
swimming pools.
Or hot tubs, you want to say.
Yeah, I mean, they list them as whirlpools. But
They
they're-
list them as
Yeah,
whirlpools, yeah.
so I guess, I don't know what the definition between a whirlpool and a hot tub is, but this one was so big that they actually had, remember TV sets hanging overhead so you could watch that? They also, I think they called them infinity hot tubs in the sense that you would sit in them and it would, if you get at the edge of the pool, it would look like you were looking over the ocean.
Yeah, it's nice.
So, great view,
Yeah.
TV set if you're looking for some distraction, and they were huge.
Yeah, if you never sailed away Royal, I highly recommend it. It was quite a amazing experience.
Some of the thrill kind of seekers, flow riders. Flow riders, they have two of them. This is their version of like a surfing pool.
Yeah, surfing.
They would cause a wave,
Yep.
and you would be on a mini surfboard, and you would try and ride the wave.
Yeah.
They were on the back of the
It
ship.
looked hard.
It looked hard, and I'll tell you, you fall quite a distance.
seen a lot
it
of
looks
people
like
fall.
you just fallen, but the water's not that deep, so
No.
you fall and you could really hurt yourself.
I know.
So you got to be a little careful with that.
Yeah.
But it looks like a lot of fun.
It does look like fun, but I was watching so many people. The only one that I saw do it was the person that was working there. He was riding it quite
Right.
well, and maybe a couple of younger people.
And we knew a couple of people had fallen, and
Yeah.
they hurt themselves pretty bad. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful with this. Don't think it's just a something anyone can do. I guess. The other one was it's probably the biggest dry slide at sea. This I thought was a lot of fun. I rode this many times. This was new since the rehab. They rehabbed it. This was put in, so we get to enjoy this. This is a purple
Well,
slide.
I
that
didn't
goes-
ride it, but you did.
Right. This is a purple slide. I think you sat on a mat, right?
Yeah.
And you went from I'm not sure how many decks you went down, but
don't
you
know.
went from the pool deck.
Yeah,
Actually, it was higher than the pool deck.
yeah.
And you went all the way down to the promenade deck, or I think it ended up on the boardwalk. Actually, that was
Yeah.
a fun ride. It was.
I kind of wish I tried it, but
Well, I'll do it next time because it's
Yeah.
not as. It's like a lot of things.
well, I had a broken wrist, so I was banned from trying anything like that.
But it's a lot of fun. It's not as scary as it looks, and they have the color lights inside, so that was a lot of fun.
And the what was the other thing that you did?
So the other thrill, if you want to call it a thrill thing, is they had the zip line
Yeah,
on this
zip
ship.
line. That's right.
Again, this was not. I didn't think this was scary at all. Even though they try and give the impression of fear because you're actually gliding over the it's a Central Park.
Yeah,
going over?
Central Park. You
Or the
was,
boardwalk.
no, Central Park. I believe.
No, I think it was the boardwalk.
I believe it was Central
so
Park.
you went over the boardwalk and to the other side.
Oh,
So
okay,
you
boardwalk.
look down and it would give you the
We'll have to look
very-
back on the video.
it would give you a view of a very high zip line, but it wasn't that scary and it didn't go as fast as you would think. I recommend you try this. I recommend you try the Abyss. They're not as scary as they look, and they do look scary. The other thing they had was a rock wall. This was a cool rock wall, which we have never tried. Every ship we've been on, I think, has had the rock wall.
Yeah,
We've yet to try
we
it.
have yet to try it.
This was the coolest one we've ever seen.
Yeah,
do you
there
remember
was.
this one?
Yes, I do. Yes.
It was inside the Aqua Theater.
Yes.
And it covered, like, all the walls
Yeah.
on that side.
Yeah.
It was cool. So,
You'll have to try it.
if you like a rock wall, you should give this a try.
Yeah.
If you've ever tried one before.
There's
And
always a line too.
there was a line, but there's also different heights, So if you're afraid of going to the top, you could just go a much
Yeah.
lower one. So that was really great. They also had a laser tag.
Oh, that was fun. I liked that. I got to do that. That was fun.
So that's your typical laser tag. They had the inflatable borders on that to make up the course, and they divide you into teams, and you play a game of laser tag. This, of course, is a separate fee. They have to pay for that. They also had, which we didn't do on this ship, we did on another one, they had an escape room. Which, we like and don't like, but they had one on this ship if you're interested. Then you get over to one of our favorite things, which is for amenities, which was a solarium.
Yeah.
Solarium is over 16. No kids are allowed in there. We told you about the restaurant in there. They also had several hot tubs, whirlpools, whatever you want to call them. They also had a cute little, don't know if you call it a swimming pool. You actually couldn't swim, but it had a fountain in the middle. Remember that? And you could get in it and just cool down. So it's a nice way if it's cooler, you could go in the hot tub. If it's hotter and you just want to cool down your body temperature, you could go into this pool, which is right in the middle. Plenty of chairs, lots of chairs.
Yep.
There was a solarium, big dome over it.
Yeah.
So if it was bad weather, windy weather, cold weather, you were protected.
Yeah.
There was also, though, a couple of outlooks that you could go outside of the solarium, but still in that adult-only area, where if you wanted to be on the open deck.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun, don't you
Yeah,
agree?
that was. Well, it was a great experience being on the ship.
They had karaoke. As Nancy mentioned earlier, on the boardwalk, they had a merry-go-round
Oh,
or
yeah,
a
I like
carousel,
that.
which
That's
you
my
rode a
speed.
couple times.
I did. It was nice.
We have video on that, and I think it's a uniqueness of just saying that I was on a merry-go-round on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
My favorite thing was after we would go to any type of amusement park, it was as we were walking out of the amusement park, I always liked to ride the merry-go-round. That was my last ride of the day. So I don't know, I just like them.
Well, for years you did that at Disney World,
Yes,
especially
yes.
because that was near the entrance.
Yes, I did, and I like that. They're fun.
Yep. There's also a full sports court there.
Oh yeah.
Your basketball. I think almost every ship now is taping down some pickleball
Yeah.
courts,
Pickleball.
soccer, you name it. The typical sports court.
Yeah, they had. I think they had games too. They had mini golf and cornhole.
Well, that was the next thing on the list was that Nancy's gotten in during our snowbirding to doing more miniature golf, and they have a course, miniature golf course on there, which was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
I think the one miniature golf courses on Royal and on Carnival are very nice,
Yeah,
and we like to play. That's one of our little diversions that we go off.
yeah, they're fun.
Also, something that we usually walk. We used to go out early morning and do this more often. Now we just try and walk it. Usually at the end of the night, it's a track.
Yeah, that's a good way to keep your weight down so you can eat more food.
That's right. Work up an appetite, right?
yeah,
And this
work
has
up
had a
an
nice
appetite.
track that wrapped around the
It
ship.
was nice, yeah.
We did that, and they have the typical casino, which we don't usually. We walk through it because most
Yeah.
casinos you have to walk through to get to the other half of the
Yeah,
ship.
we don't do casinos.
But
yeah.
we try and shoot through that before the smoke attaches
Yeah.
to us. They have the typical card room and library, and spas if you're into the spas, the weight room, all the typical stuff. This one had, which was a little unique, had a bowling alley. So it's more of a virtual bowling alley.
And the cost of that, I don't remember.
It was
how much
$5 a game,
$5, okay.
back then. Who knows if it changed?
Yeah, who knows?
So those are the main amenities. There's probably a lot of the smaller ones that we've missed right here, but those are a lot of the amenities. The next thing, it's very interesting on Oasis ship, if you remember. It's so big, they actually break the ship into 7 neighborhoods. Now, these aren't my classifications. These are the ones you'll see on any website if you're looking for a list of the neighborhoods, all right? So we'll go through the 7 neighborhoods that they have on the Oasis ship. The first one is the boardwalk.
Yeah, that was fun.
This is an outdoor neighborhood meant to evoke nostalgia for seaside towns, and it's decorated that way. It features a carousel, candy shop, hot dog stand,
Yeah.
sports bar, Johnny Rockets, shops, and the Aqua Theater. So this is basically an outdoor area,
Yeah,
and so if it rains, you're going to get wet.
yeah.
But it does have all this stuff, and it's a nice part of the ship. A lot of people try and get I liked our balcony overlooking Central Park.
I
A lot
did
of people
too.
try and get it overlooking the boardwalk because the Aqua Theater is there, and sometimes you can actually see the show from your balcony.
That's a good point.
So that's the boardwalk. The second one is called the Pool and Sports Zone. The top decks of the Oasis have pools, hot tubs, Splashaway Bay, which is geared towards kids, and sports activities. So that's where you're going to see all the action. Your miniature golf is up there, your zip lines up there, all that kind of stuff. So that's the outdoor action, I guess you'd call it. Third is Central Park, which is probably one of our favorites.
Oh, that was so
I know it's
pretty
my
there.
favorite.
Yeah. And it was so nice at night. They had a violinist and a pianist there, and they played in Central Park. It was so pretty listening to the music.
Well,
And they have a nice restaurant across.
right. The basic
Yeah,
thing, it's
really
an
pretty.
open, they call it an open air oasis in the
Open
middle
air
of the
oasis.
oasis of the seas with restaurants, retail, and lush greenery.
Yes.
And like Nancy said, it's basically live plants.
Live
Gardens
plants,
there.
yeah.
You can see your occasional insect or something like that, or bird.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It was
And
beautiful.
what you had mentioned is we took walks with all different times of day, and at night they'd had nice little, what would you call it, the entertainment? Strings or
Yeah, they had
brass or
yeah,
whatever. Very quiet music.
very beautiful, violin music or piano music. It was very nice.
And we would do it just to walk from one end to the other. You would come
Yeah.
out, you enter it from one end of the ship, you'd walk down the paths
Yeah,
to
I
the
couldn't
other
get
end of the
enough
ship.
of it. It was so pretty.
Right. Very nice. And they had
They even
vines
have-
stuff climbing up the sides
Yeah,
of the ship.
and the shops, they had Tiffany's, which had beautiful jewelry, and I just got to go into Tiffany's. Of course, I didn't buy anything, but it was fun going into Tiffany's
You're right.
jewelry.
Well, you know what's funny too is and we saw this from our balcony. At each entrance to Central Park, which is at the two ends of the ship,
Yeah.
they had umbrella racks.
Oh, yeah.
And we thought they were there just for novelty, right,
Yeah.
to give it that feel.
Right.
But we had maybe one or two downpours, and when
Yeah.
you saw this, you saw people actually grab the elevator
Yeah.
from one end,
Took a number.
walk through Central Park to the other end, and then put it in the stand at
They
the other
did,
end.
yeah.
So, I mean, it was pretty heads up thinking on their part. Or people that came out of the fancy restaurants all
Right,
dressed up,
right.
and they
Yeah, that was smart. Yeah.
So that was pretty funny and very unique. The fourth place is a Royal Promenade. That's the main walkway in the middle of the ship. It has bars, lounges, casual eateries, and shopping. This is the main thoroughfare on the ship. It's in the center of the ship. It's indoors. It's where the pizza place was. It's where the 24-hour cafe was. It had a car in there, a Rolls Royce or something in there as
Oh,
a,
yeah,
as
that
a
was
decoration.
cool. Yeah, that was really cool.
And this
We
was
got a
a,
lot of pictures of us posing by the Rolls Royce.
and this was a ship that actually had the bar, right? That would rise. You could get on the
Yes,
bar in the
yes.
promenade.
Yes.
And this bar rose
Yep.
to the next 2 or 3 levels. So
Yep.
you could actually get on this. It rose at a very slow speed, and you could have a drink. Or like we never did ride that. We'll have to try
No.
that sometime.
Sometime. We'll
But it was kind of cool in the middle of it. That's also what they did for the Heroes celebration
was
they have.
wonderful.
They lowered that bar down with the full.
We have a video of that.
we
If
do.
anybody wants to check that out, that was really nice. That was really, really nice.
So that was nice. That whole promenade was great.
was
We
great.
walked in there on there just the shops were there and they
And
had
it-
entertainment there
At
all the
night
time.
they had all different kinds of music. I thought it was great.
Right.
There was music coming from every club. It was fun.
The fifth place is the entertainment place. Okay, so if you're looking, this is the hub where the comedy club, the theater, the jazz club, the nightclub, and the casino, they're all located. So if you were going to the big theater for one of their Broadway shows, this is where you'd go. Mm-hmm. They had an actual separate comedy theater, which
They
would go
did.
for
We
a
went
comedy.
one time. Yep.
Karaoke,
Yeah.
jazz. They had an actual jazz club if you're looking for that. So there's a variety of entertainment, and it was in this center, this neighborhood, as they call it, the entertainment place. The sixth neighborhood was the youth zone. If you're on there with kids, which we weren't, that's where you'd find the Ocean Kids programming and the programs for children. We walked through it, but
We did
beautiful
walk through
rooms,
it.
right?
Yeah, it was really nice. Yeah.
And the last place is the Vitality Spa and Fitness, where guests go for the spa, the salon, and the fitness center. So we would go. We went to the gym a few times, but
Yeah.
if
We
you were
checked
doing
it
this
out.
right and checked it out, walked around. So that was very nice. Then we move on to the shows, and this will be the last part of our segment. Is the shows on the ship? Okay, there are 3 main entertainment venues on the Oasis of the Seas. The Royal Theatre, that's the big, huge theater that had. What did we see on that? I'm trying to think of the
I
type
saw
of
Cats.
show. Was Cats on that one?
Yep.
Okay, she saw Cats, and there was a few other things. There was the Aqua Theater, which is a huge outdoor theater in the back
That
of
was
the
really
ship,
cool. That show was amazing.
which is a huge screen, and this was high diving,
High
right?
diving, yeah. That was amazing.
And they danced to
Yep.
to it. So that's
And the little acrobat, because they had the guy up with a skateboard on the high wire.
they did that. They did a trying to look like the Back to the Future on
Yeah.
the hoverboard,
Yeah,
and then they
hoverboard.
also had.
Yeah.
There was something else they would do. Oh, the dance. Remember they do it? It was
Oh,
like
yes.
they call them aerial acts.
Ariel, yes. So that was really cool.
Right.
The whole show was fantastic.
And they mixed that with dancing and sank down
Yep.
in the stage in the water lower than high.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the biggest part was the high diving.
The high diving was amazing. I was blown away by how they can do all of that in this little pool. It's not very big. I mean, it's big enough, but
Well,
it was
you wonder
amazing.
too. The ship is moving.
I
and
know,
they
the
have
ship
the
is
time that right, so
moving.
everything's
They
the
were
land of the water.
amazing.
You're absolutely
Yeah.
right. So there's the Royal Theater, the Aqua Theater, and then there was Studio B ice skating rink.
Studio B
This
ice
was
skating.
good for two things. One was they had open skating. So if you want to just skate, Nancy tried this. I filmed it, but she had a little accident on the ice skating rink, so that probably doesn't have the greatest memories for her. But
No.
you could do skating on your own on this rink. Well, there were times set aside for that, right?
Yeah.
And then they also had a professional show.
Yeah. That was good. I
You
liked
liked that
it.
one?
I did.
Yeah.
I thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable. Yeah, I saw it twice. I
Right.
liked it.
Yeah, we enjoyed it.
Yeah, we did.
We did enjoy
I mean, it
it.
might not be everybody's cup of tea, but we enjoyed it.
Well, and it's something different too.
Yeah.
You get your main shows in the theater, like
Yeah.
you said, Cats. Then you
Cats.
go over to an aqua show, which is
I
totally
know.
different from that. Then you
I
go
like
to an
ice skating
ice show,
show,
which is
yeah.
totally different than that, right? The Royal Theater.
They did have a woman do. I think it was Whitney Houston. I think it was on that. That was pretty good.
Oh, okay. They were doing
Yeah.
her music. I
Yeah.
didn't remember that one. The Royal Theater was also used for comedians. They had game shows and guest performers during the sailing. It was interesting because they would actually have, and I think all cruise lines do this, they'd have a performer, but the performer would only be on that for a night or two.
Yeah.
Performer would leave at the port, and a different performer would come on. So
That's
not
right.
every performer you see is going to be there for the duration of the cruise.
That's right. That's right.
So in the Aqua Theater, there is the Aqua Theater houses a theater called Aqua 80. Okay, the show, I should say, that's the name of the show, and it's high diving acrobats, aerialists. What they do is all this music, which you mentioned earlier, is to music of the 80s.
Yeah. I loved it. I thought it was great. We saw it several. I think we saw it more than once. I don't know how many times. I think we saw it twice, and then we saw a little bit of it when we were walking around. And we just peeked at it. But it's worth seeing twice or more.
And like Nancy said, there was a variety of other shows, that were not on the scale of Cats, but
Yeah.
throughout the week. Most cruise ships we've been on, there is a main show every night of the week, which is great
Yeah.
if you want to see it. So, and usually they have an early and late show.
Yeah.
So that covers our experience on Oasis of the Seas. Anything you'd like to throw out?
No, I just thought it was a great experience between the shows, the food, the ports that we went to.
Right.
It was all fun.
We will return to Oasis or one of her sister ships. We're looking forward to that. That's probably our number one ship
Is
up to
it-
this point.
Is it Odyssey that's the sister ship, or what's the one that our daughter went on? I think it was
Allure, I think.
Allure. She loved it. It was very similar to the Oasis, the Allure of the Sea. That's right.
So, thank you for joining us.
Thank you all for joining us. We really appreciate your support. We hope you all have a great afternoon and stay young and have fun. Bye now.
Hello, I'm Nancy, and welcome to Nancy's Fun Facts. Today I have 5 travel fun facts for you.
So, Nancy, what 5 fun facts you have for us today?
Well, this state I want to visit very badly. It's Alaska.
Oh, there's your bucket list right there.
Yes, it's my bucket list state. Alaska is one of the few states that pays its citizens to live there. It is called the Alaskan Permanent Fund, and it pays out a specific amount based on the state's oil royalties.
Wow, that's complicated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alaska was originally owned by Russia. It was purchased in 1867 for approximately $7 million. I bet Russia wishes they had
Yeah, I'm sure they
Alaska
do.
now. Alaska has the largest population of wolves in the USA. Oh, that'd be cool to see a wild wolf in
Yeah.
Alaska. Fruits and vegetables grow so large in Alaska due to the amount of sunlight the state experiences. 20 hours of sunlight in some parts of the year.
I would never think that.
Yeah,
You think of it as a
yeah.
cold place,
I
and not
know.
one you could grow a lot of
Right.
produce.
The Iditarod Trail is a sled dog race that started in 1925 when dog teams had to travel over 600 miles to deliver medicine to halt an epidemic in Nome. The Iditarod race, which begins in Anchorage and ends in Nome, represents this event and runs every year in March. That'd be cool to
That I've
see.
heard of. I had a boss at work once who had people in the family that actually did the idea.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That
Interesting.
sounds fascinating.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for those facts,
You're
Nance.
welcome. I would love some of those fruits and vegetables from Alaska
right.
if they're nice and big, like a
Today's snowbirding tip. Are you tired of the typical restaurants or cooking something in your condo and you're just looking for something totally different? On 192 in Kissimmee, and I'm sure there are a lot of places around Florida you can find this, there are food trucks. Lots and lots of food trucks that you can pick whatever you want, different nationality food, different flavors. Give it a try for something different. Go out for your lunch there, go out for your dinner there. The food trucks on 192 is a place we recommend. Today's segment is from an edited segment from one of our YouTube lives. And this is my favorite topic. Best buffets you have eaten at.
Ooh, you're making me hungry just saying buffets.
We didn't realize when we were putting this list together how many buffets we've eaten at. Decent buffets.
Yeah.
There's a few around here in the New Hampshire area, but most of them have closed. The Chinese ones
Most of
closed.
them have closed. Most of our Chinese buffets in this area have closed.
Golden Corral in Manchester, Billy brings up, and that's probably the best buffet in our area now, and that's over an hour away.
I know.
Golden Corral is one of my favorites. Two buffets that are nowhere near Florida and nowhere near New Hampshire that were our two favorite, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
One was Captain George's.
Captain George's was amazing, yes. That was in Williamsburg,
That was
Virginia.
in, I don't know if it's actually Williamsburg, but it was
It
close
was
to
in
Williamsburg.
Virginia, yeah.
It was on the main drag.
That was amazing. The place was huge.
It was seafood.
Yeah.
And
seafood.
while I was chatting on this show, a couple of us looked it up to see if the thing was still around because we went, what?
Oh, God.
25 years ago?
Yeah, at least 25.
And it is still open.
Wow, really?
The price, of course, is not what we paid back then. I think it was $41 for a unique. But I mean, they had scallops. It had all sorts of
That's not
seafood.
terrible.
No, it's not for.
No, that's not bad.
You do a sit-down meal of seafood. It's going to
I
cost
know,
that, right?
I know. Well, yeah, it was delicious. I remember that very much. This is my this one. I'm laughing because of all the dessert I ate.
Oh, I know. Billy says actually the best buffets I've had are in Las Vegas. I've always wondered that. Nancy went to Las Vegas once. I haven't.
Yes.
But they look great on when you're looking at the pictures.
I remember
Caesar's Palace is the best.
Oh, is it? Oh, I hadn't had a buffet there, but I had one at the Tropicana Hotel, and it was good. It was very good. We were surprised by this one. Well, we were surprised by this one. We went to Niagara Falls 5 years ago now, and we walked over to the Seneca Falls casino, and we had our cards with us, and we were able to get a meal for $15, and it was a buffet, and it was really good.
It was good. Great chicken wings, great meat.
They had
like
the pasta with the mushrooms, and I don't know what else was in that you really liked.
Well, we actually went back like 4 times.
Oh, we kept going back, yeah.
Because then what they would do is have a luncheon special.
Yes, yes. And they had for dessert, they had the creme brulee. Oh my God, it was very, very good. We kept going back there because you can't beat the price. I mean, so it was great.
Our two favorites, right?
Yeah,
Golden Corral. Well, you have Golden Corral up there too, and that we always like that. We'll do that 2 or 3 times every time in Florida, and try and make a trek up to Manchester. It's kind of become our thing with Jimmy and Colleen too. So try and do that at least once a year. I don't know if this qualifies as a buffet because it's more family style, but it is kind of a buffet. Ohana's is
that was good.
The very top of our list.
Ohana's, that was. You never eaten at Ohana's? It is expensive, but it's worth the money. It was really good.
We've done that twice.
Yeah.
Usually for special occasions or something like that.
Yeah.
The other one at Disney, if you're going with the Disney theme, is Cape May Buffet. We enjoyed.
Do they still have that?
They have it, but we checked that out last winter or the winter before, and the big thing was that you had buckets that you could fill with clams, steamers. They don't have the buckets anymore.
No.
So that was easy. The last one we threw on our list was the just general. We find that the Chinese buffets in Florida are so much better than the ones up here.
Yeah, they're very good.
Food's fresher, it's warmer, there's more variety.
Good.
We did that quite a bit for lunch down at the Chinese buffets. Our two favorites, we did Ichiban once on 192, and we did the other one 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
So what was the other one called?
Okido.
Okido, okay.
Something like, if I'm pronouncing it right.
Are there any buffets where you guys live? Different. I know, Jimmy, yours is the Golden Buffet Country. The Golden Corral. Why keep Old Country Buffet? Because that's the one we used to love, remember?
We used to like this buffet called Old Country Buffet, and they had the last one we went to was in Manchester, but I don't know if they still have it. But That was our go-to buffet when we went down Cape Cod.
Jimmy said they have several Sunday breakfast buffets here. I'll have to get some of those names from you, Jimmy, because I even have trouble finding those.
Hmm.
And Blaine says Shoney's. Now, Shoney's used to be our favorite.
We used to love it.
Shoney's used to be the top of our list, and we went in there to check it out. There's one attached to Old Town, and it was
yeah.
terrible. Now I don't know if they've all gone downhill or if Shoney's, if that was that one.
I don't know. Yeah, we haven't eaten there, but we did enjoy it when we first went to Florida. We ate at Shoney's and we really liked it.
Billy's got some good Chinese buffets up where he is. I don't know why
Nice.
Florida has such good Chinese buffets, but
Yeah, love Chinese food.
and he's a Golden Corral there also. I've always wondered that he said Chi-Chi's Pizza. And we just figure we wouldn't eat a worth of pizza, right?
Yeah, I don't
Because
think I
it's
could do
limited
that.
menu. But is
Yeah.
the pizza that good that it's worth doing, Billy? See, Blaine, so we ate at the Golden Corral about 2 miles from Old Town. We definitely ate at that one.
Mhm.
The one we ate with Jimmy was closer to where we are. When he ate at, I think, is on 192. That's one we have eaten the most at.
Yeah.
And the big thing, and even though Billy hasn't said it, the biggest thing with Golden Corral is they include all the slushies you can eat. Billy's saying that Chi-Chi's is not worth it. Yeah, it doesn't
No.
look like it is.
Yeah.
Golden Corral rock. Give you a little hint if you haven't figured it out yourself. They have steak right now every night, and I think it starts at 4.
Yes.
We go in for the senior special. We qualify now, so we go in about 3
Yeah.
because I think it ends at 3. So we get in like 2:30. Last time we were in, they started putting the steak cook. Well, they got to
They
cook in
did.
advance, right?
Yeah.
They have the steak ready.
Yeah.
They started putting it out, and they'll actually
That
serve
was
it to
good.
you
Yeah.
during the lunch if you go at the end of the lunch.
Yeah,
So
you can
just a little hint.
piggyback on the steak food for dinner.
Western Sizzlers, Blaine recommends. We've never
yeah?
had that one.
No, I never went there. You should try it. I'll try different places. Okay, now the answers to the trivia question. The first one was, what country do the tallest people in the world come from? The answer is the Netherlands. I wouldn't have guessed that.
No, I would not have either.
I wonder what kind of food they eat to make them tall. I'll take some. Okay, number 2. What was the name of Carnival's first cruise ship? The Mardi Gras.
Yeah, they renamed the newest, one of the newer ones now is a Mardi Gras also.
Yeah.
So they're using the names over again.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting. What attraction was flight tested by U.S. astronauts before it was open to the public? Space Mountain. That makes sense.
See, I thought it was a space ride.
Oh, really?
That's what I thought first, not Space Mountain.
Okay.
Thank you, Nance.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming to J&N Travels Podcast.